Hey, folks. It is episode number 158 of Unload and Show Clear. I am your host, the Slayer of Non-Threats, Lloyd Bailey, and this is our first ever live show. We're going to be joined by an awesome group of guests, all of whom you've met over the past 157 episodes. And we're going to be looking back at this flaming bag of excrement that was the year 2020 and looking ahead to better days in 2021. First up, we are joined by Ben Hardt from Folsom, California. Welcome, sir. How are you?
Lloyd, good to see you. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Awesome. Brad Weilbrenner. How are you, sir? Well, if I could get...
Yep, I'm doing well. Thank you so much.
And Brad, guest from episode 48, and Walt Proulx. There we go. Walt from episode 73. Walt, how are you?
Good, Lloyd. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Better than I deserve. All right. So welcome to all of you, and I'm glad 2020 is almost over. I'm sure you all are all as well. You guys, one of the reasons I wanted to have you guys on the show, you all travel quite a bit, and 2020 is very different from a normal year. I'm sure for you guys, especially. What was 2020 like for you? Most people don't travel the country like you guys do. Give people an idea of what 2020 was like for each of you. Ben, let's start with you.
You know, one of the matches we got to travel to was actually Walt's match out in Grand Junction. And for me, that's a connection in Phoenix or Dallas, depending on how you fly. Honestly, that was, what was that? Walt, was that August? That was, the travel was easy. You know, we're all used to wearing matches, wearing masks, but the airports were empty. The planes were comfortable. And frankly, it was as easy a travel schedule as I've ever had.
Okay. So there are some benefits to nobody else traveling.
Yeah.
Walt, how about you? You and Austin are all over the country every year.
Yeah, we average about 13 sanctioned matches a year, all of which, other than the one here, we travel to.
Right.
We traveled down to the South Mountain Showdown right before SHOT Show, and then we got back from that and everything hit the fan. And we didn't travel to another match until right at the end of the year. Shot 3 sanctioned matches this last year, and for the last 10 years, we've averaged 13.
I started to say, when was the last time you shot 3 sanctioned matches?
The first year we started shooting competitively was the first year we shot 3. Yeah. And unfortunately, one of the matches that ended up going by the wayside was the Western out at Ben's home range there at Sacramento. And we've shot that one for the last 5 or 6 years in a row. So it was a real shame. There were a lot of great regional relationships that we have that just didn't happen this year.
Yeah. Brad, how about yourself?
All the matches have gone flat. New Hampshire has a really big travel restriction. So if I traveled outside of New Hampshire, I always had to quarantine. Then they opened it up to the New England area. But all the major matches, Mass States, New England Regionals, Live Free or Die, they were all canceled. I actually shot 3 IDPA matches this year. And they were all local matches up in Maine. A small fledgling program. I'm trying to help them get off the ground. Even my own club, I was a match director. I didn't even get a chance to shoot. So I have shot, like I said, 3 IDPA matches this whole year, and all of them have been local club matches.
Holy cow. So you guys are all also in fairly restrictive states with regards to how your state governments have handled the pandemic. What was the local schedule like? What was it like shooting locally for each of you? Well, Brad, you kind of answered the question for the Northeast. Ben, you wanted to talk about the Western next year, and we're hopeful that things open up a little bit next year. What are they like? What have they been like in California as far as shooting locally?
We were shut down, obviously, call it 1st of April. So we shot we shoot first Sunday. So we got to shoot March, but I don't think we shot again until June. So we did get open back up, and they allow us to do the social distancing and kind of self-police at the range. Participation has been lower, but honestly, once we got through that first quarter of shutdown, April, May, and then part of June, our matches here have been pretty well attended. We've had great matches. We've had great attendance, and it gave me a lot of time to dry fire. So I'm, we've started promoting the Western, and I'm really hoping that 2021 is different.
Walt, what was Colorado like?
We missed one local match this year. That's it.
Okay.
Although Colorado did experience some restrictive travel considerations, outdoor recreation was pretty unaffected, and because of the spread out nature of outdoor events, we were able to meet the maximum gathering numbers. And we missed one local match, and other than that, everything has gone smoothly since.
So social distancing, mask requirements, anybody have that sort of thing going on? I know we had that here in Texas for a little while, which I think drove a lot of people away from the ranges.
Yeah, it still happens in my club. The only person who's not wearing a mask is the shooter. Even your safety officers now need to wear masks, and it's been an obstacle to overcome, and it's really changed the dynamics on how the matches are run and how the shooters participate, as far as even the simple things such as taping targets, where the social distancing provides a little bit more of a challenge of match flow and stuff like that.
Ben, what's the schedule for the Western next year, and what are you hoping? How are you hoping things will change that will allow the Western to go on?
Well, if we went by today's restrictions, we have scheduled for May 1 and 2 with the staff shoot the Friday prior, so April 30. So we have they limit you to currently 10 or 12 per squad, but we've got 14, 15 bays, and we can spread out pretty well. We've got a great range, and I think until Walt came online, we were probably the largest west of the Mississippi. So the spreading out is not a problem. It's a great outdoor range. And so we've got some pretty good plans. I'm hoping that we can have folks there for the prize table, because that's part of the fun of a match, right? Is the socialization and kind of getting together afterwards, or maybe having a beer, and when the shooting's done, kind of talk about how it went. And I'm hopeful that because we'll be 5 months into the year, that current restrictions will have relaxed a little bit. But frankly, we're ready to go with today's restrictions. I think we can probably support, give or take 200 shooters.
Good deal. Just cut a hole in the mask for the beer bottle. You'll be good. Well, you've got a number of matches coming to your range next year. You got a big schedule.
Yeah, we've got 7 major events already booked all the way out through next September. The Rocky Mountain Regional this year will be the biggest one yet. We've increased the number of stages, and really that's the only way in avoiding excess squad sizes to increase the size of a match. Fortunately, like with Ben, we've got 20 bays all available to us, and we're going to actually move over and use 3 of the public bays this time. So it's going to be an 18-stage match this year. And another way to spread it out is we are doing the staff shoot over 2 days as well as the regular competitors over 2 days. So it'll be a 4-day total event. And I'm thinking it's going to be the biggest regional match ever held.
Nice.
Yeah.
And nationals at your range as well, right?
September, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think we've got somebody who has some relation to that match coming on next segment. So we'll talk more about that shortly. Let's talk about some good things for 2020. Share a positive that came out of 2020. I know most of what happened this year was a downer, but what was something positive? Brad, let's start with you.
A whole lot more dry fire. You really do learn to appreciate dry fire. Not only with the lack of matches or the availability of matches, but also the ammo shortages played a big role in that as well.
Yep. Watched a lot of Ben Hardt dry fire videos. Ben, how about you?
I don't know that I did any dry fire, Lloyd. I can't think of any. Anyway,
Here, I'll send you a message, Ben. Hang on.
Yeah, I dry fired quite a bit. The fun thing, honestly, when we thought this was going to be like a 6-week thing back at the beginning, I bought a reloader. In the past, I had a buddy, one of the guys here at our local club, Bob. He'd done my reloading for me. And this gave me an opportunity to buy a 1050 and put an automated, the Mark 7, machine on there. And I didn't realize how much I would love reloading, right? Some guys like to doctor up their loads. I just love the machine. So running that thing, and back at the beginning, back in March and April, components were cheap. Shoot, I bought 50,000 components. I'm still working through those, man. I'm healthy, and I love to go out there. That's my therapy. When I can't get to the range, I go to the garage, I turn on the Mark 7, and I just feed components in. So that's actually been a great positive for me.
I hope you stocked up.
Yeah.
Walt, how about you?
I've missed the last 5 hunting seasons because fall of the year is typically when the crunch is on for, big regionals and nationals with all of the different shooting sports that I participate in. My son and I were actually able to go do a serious deer and elk hunt this year and took, I think it was 9 days in a row off, which was another interesting thing because I haven't taken 3 days in a row off in 8 years. So, yeah.
Got a chance to slow down a little bit. And
yeah,
that's cool. So what are you guys looking, if everything, let's play make believe fairy tale land here and hope and say 2021 goes exactly as we hope and everything's back to normal next year. What are each of you looking forward to? What's the one thing that you guys are looking forward to? The one match that you're looking forward to next year? Brad?
Well, I'm looking forward to going back to the revolver. As you know, Lloyd, I love the revolver. I love shooting it. And I thought 2020, I said, I'm going to switch to the pistol. So I'll run a 1911.
So this is all your fault.
I'm gonna shoot 1911 this year, and then in 21 I'll go back to the revolver. And like I said, I shot like 3 matches with the pistol, and I hadn't done very well in any of them. So I'm gonna go back to the revolver. At least I have a chance.
Gotcha. Okay. Ben, how about you?
I don't think you're going to get any arguments from me or Walt about shooting a 1911. But honestly, my goal this year, what I would love to see happen, I'd like to shoot well enough to have a chance to DM at nationals at Walt's range. That's my goal.
Nice. Walt, how about yourself?
Walt may have something to say about that.
I'm going to do my best to derail that plan. Actually, you know what? If I'm DM and you're within 3%, brother, you're DM too. So there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, this might sound self-serving, but it's true. It's legitimate. I eat, breathe, and sleep the big matches coming up at Cameo. I had the stages for next year's Rocky Mountain Regional completed 8.5 months ago, and I've got half the stages for the 2022 Rocky Mountain Regional already in the can. And my goal and desire for this next year, it really hinges completely on having that match be a complete success down to the most minute detail. I lose a lot of sleep over it, and people that know me know that that's true. I want for our matches to be the best matches that have ever been held. And every time we hold a match, I ask a lot of people, what could we have done better? What do we get right? What do we get wrong? And I think everybody that puts on big matches should be dwelling on that at least as hard as I do. That's how we get better.
I don't know how you're going to top Jimi Hendrix. I mean,
we already got a plan, brother.
I don't know how that's going to happen.
For those of us who weren't there, explain that reference for those of us who weren't there.
So we always play the national anthem over our PA system at our big picnic shelter, and it's a nice Bose outdoor sound system. Well, of course, this year nobody could do the big standard shooter safety meeting. You couldn't gather all in one spot, so everybody was told to go to their bays, and we knew that was going to be the case because of the county mandate. So we instead planned to put on the national anthem loud enough that it could be heard over the entire 2,000-acre facility. And we actually hauled 2 giant speaker stacks and a 10-kilowatt generator up halfway up onto the mountainside with our side-by-sides. And we had a local artist go up there and wail the national anthem on electric guitar, a la Jimi Hendrix. And we did hear from some people in town 3 miles away. They could hear it. And simultaneously, we had base jumpers go off the top of the cliff and pop red, white, and blue smoke, and grown men cried. It was awesome. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Brad, is there any chance, is there any talk about the Live Free or Die ramping back up for next year? Or what are the chances of things getting better in terms of kind of loosening up the restrictions?
Well, we looked at, Will Live Free or Die is definitely on the planning board. We were severely disappointed in the match director, and along with a lot of the discipline co-chairs and some of the board of directors really had a tough decision on canceling that match. It was a tough decision for them to say, we want to cancel this. We don't want to have restrictions come or we can only have half the shooters or anything like that. So it was all or nothing, and they decided, let's just pull the plug now so people aren't making reservations and stuff and having to cancel them and possibly lose money or stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure that it's going to be right back on the planning board for next year. Everything's going to be in the queue. It all depends on what the governor says. We held USPSA Area 7 in our club, and the way the state restrictions were, we were only allowed to have 100 people on club property. They limited those big any of those type of sporting events to 100 people, and that included staff, not just shooters. So this is the first USPSA match that I was as a range official, I was actually embedded in the squad. And that changed the whole dynamics of how I shot the match.
And Live Free or Die is pretty big event, right?
Yeah, we shoot. I think it's 120 or 130 shooters a day. So it's a pretty big one in the Northeast. I'm hoping it goes. We have a lot of fun building the stages and stuff like that. If you shot nationals and have seen our stages, they're pretty intense as far as not only how the stage set up, but how it looks. So we put a lot of detail into how it looks.
Yep. Any idea when that might take place, or what your target date would be?
It's always they try to run it the second weekend in October.
Okay.
So,
right, so
hopefully
fingers crossed, still some time.
I like to see you all come out and have a good time.
Good deal. And Ben, again, the Western is end of April, 1st of May. Is that right? Is that what you said?
Yeah. May 1 and 2, Saturday, Sunday, May 1 and 2. It's honestly, we kind of go back and forth with Walt and his group, and we definitely coordinate those dates. We're the beginning of the month. He's the end of the month. So we're May 1 and 2 here in Sacramento. And one thing real quick, Lloyd.
Yep.
People get afraid of coming into California with guns. Walt can tell you, anybody can tell you, it's no different than flying to Nationals in Talladega. It's no different than flying anywhere else. It's a major airport. They will not confiscate your normal capacity mags. They will not confiscate your guns. It's perfectly legal to come in here with a regular pistol, regular magazines, and come shoot our match.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Well, hopefully all of that will go off as planned. I got a few messages here from people who are watching. I'm not sure who these folks are, so I'm gonna pop these up on the screen. How do I show this? I'm not sure if you want your comments to be we want to see who you are. You got to give Facebook permissions so that we can see your lovely face and your name. But somebody wanted to send a hello to Walt and to Brad, and Ben. You also got a nice shout out as well. And
it's probably my wife.
Probably your wife. Okay, she just didn't want anybody to know. And Rhino Roach says hello, and then someone else wanted to say Merry Christmas. And thank you all for the comments. Guys, we're running up against it. Thank you all for taking the time to do this. Merry Christmas to all of you. And I'm really hoping 2021 is better, and I get a chance to see you guys face to face next year.
Awesome.
Thanks, Lloyd.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Lloyd.
All right. We are just a little over time. I estimated about right. So time for our next bunch of reprobates to join us. I scheduled the crazy people for the middle of the show, and you'll enjoy this group. This first guest, Seth. We mentioned just a few moments ago. We mentioned the Nationals coming up, and Seth Hayden is going to be the match director. There he is. Seth Hayden.
How's it going?
The guest from episode 60, Seth from Prattville, Alabama, who sounds like he's washing dishes. How are you, sir? You can't hear me. Can you hear me? He's on mute. Did you mute yourself? And while he's trying to figure out,
good, but I can't hear you.
Oh no! Hey, Ron. Aaron Brulc from Lexington, Kentucky. Our guest from episode 70. He's the match director of the 2020
That's always fun.
Kentucky State Championship and the upcoming 2021 Kentucky Classic. Aaron, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I am doing well. Thank you for joining us. And Bradley Eadens, the Grand Master. How are you? The distinguished master from Henderson, Kentucky. Our guest way back in episode 24, who will be the match director of the new Nighthawk Custom Firearms Regional IDPA Championship in August. How are you, Bradley?
I am doing well, sir. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for being here. We're gonna start off with the same question I asked the first group. What was and Seth, can you hear me yet?
I can.
Hey, all right, awesome.
There.
So what was 2020 like for you guys? Your states are a little bit different. Although Kentucky is your governor, I don't like to talk politics on the show, so I'm not going to speak ill of
We don't like to
Your
talk about our
governor.
either.
I'll let you guys do it.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll let you guys do it. You guys have a little bit different situations from the first group of guests. What was, but you all are also, especially Aaron down there, very big traveling schedule every year. What was 2020 like with the COVID restrictions all over the country, and how did it affect your travel? We'll start with you, Aaron.
So honestly, I did some stats before the interview here, and I shot 9 IDPA majors this year and 7 USPSA majors. I had to canceled 7 of the IDPA matches were canceled. So I still had a total of 16 matches this year. And 4 of those USPSA matches were national championships. So honestly, it was still pretty on par with at least 2 years ago for me. I think the travel restrictions more than the actual match restrictions affected on our side of things. But even here locally in Kentucky, we held 3 major events, 2 USPSA majors in my Kentucky state. I had 155 shooters. Our Area 5 match had 244, and the section match had 205. So, and those are numbers that are about normal for our major matches. So, in that regard, it really didn't affect them.
Interesting. Brad, how about you?
Well, I'm not as prepared as Aaron is, but I think I shot 5 or 6 majors. To include Aaron's match was a great match, by the way, Aaron. Thanks for going ahead and having that. And thanks to all the match directors that were able to go on and have matches this year. That was really helped keep me in a little bit of the norm. I am very, very routine oriented, and when my routine gets broken, I get manic depressive, if you will. I really like my routine, so thanks to you guys that went on and had matches, and I know the ones that couldn't just didn't have any choice. Great match we missed this year was Illinois State. That's always a great match, and I know Aaron was sick on having to cancel that match, but yeah, I think I shot 5 or 6 majors. Got a little bit later start, obviously, because some of the first majors I was supposed to shoot were canceled, but was still very fortunate to shoot those 5 or 6, and the local matches kept going mostly. I think we missed two local matches, and then finally the range decided, yeah, we're gonna go for it again. You guys do your best to maintain all the restrictions, and good luck. So we still had a good time. So yeah.
Good deal. Seth, how about you over in Alabama? What was the travel schedule like for you around the country, and what was it like locally?
Locally, we missed one local match for our local club, but obviously we had to cancel nationals and we had to cancel Alabama State. But I actually got to go to 6 different states and shoot matches, which is not normally my schedule. It was kind of the opposite there, because I actually got to get out there and go. I got to go to Colorado. We went to Mississippi for the women's match. Got to go to Aaron's match in Kentucky, which I hadn't been to before. So I actually was able to actually get around more. Alabama didn't have, I guess, as much of a monitored lockdown. We lost the restaurants and everything else at the beginning. But then travel-wise, you're kind of left to your own.
Okay. So ranges weren't really as big an issue.
No,
here we had some issues early on, and there were, you had to socially distance and you had to wear your mask, and then it was just like, whatever.
Yeah. Our local range, I don't even know if the county sheriff could find it. It's off a dirt road. Logistically, we could have held the match for the state, and them. None of the authorities actually know that we were, just. From everybody's fear of the match getting canceled, for not signing up, to other people's concern for actually being able to get there. Logistically, it just became harder and harder to get the match going, especially after being on hiatus for several years.
Right. All right. Well, let's talk match direction for a minute here, because all of you guys are involved in this. or soon will be for Brad. You've got something that you're looking forward to, and Seth, you're looking forward to a big match. Aaron, let's start with you. You pulled off the Kentucky State match this year in the middle of the pandemic. Talk about how that match went. Brad has already talked about what a great match that was. Seth, you were there. What was it like trying to, with everything that was going on around the country and all the craziness around COVID, what was it like trying to make sure that match went off? And then talk about how the match went.
Well, I will tell you, I leaned on a lot of other folks who had a long-term match director experience. This is my first, match as the match director, even though I've traveled all over the country and been to other matches. So my goal was to take pieces and parts from all the good matches that I've been to and try to put it all together. But I formulated a plan, and locally we did on how to maintain our social distance, kind of in spirit, go with the COVID guidelines and best practices, respect everybody's desires. So we tried to keep the groups to 10 member squads. But then what we also did, and I've also talked to some other match directors, and quite frankly, I think this method should go forward even after COVID, is cut out the big shooters meeting before the match. What we've been doing now is you get your shooters meeting in the bay from your CSO before the actual match starts. And it, quite frankly, now I've seen it at 5 different major matches, and it speeds up things. It just cuts out this big gaggle of people and having to go back to your bays and then back and forth. And when you're moving around 150 to 200 people, that makes a big difference. So I think that was a huge thing that improved things. And like I said, there's been some recent matches that it really, really showed, like the Sheepdog that I just attended down in Valdosta a couple weekends ago. That was extremely smooth using that method. So I think that was a logically thought out thing. We tried to also, we've implemented squad moms to try to corral people. I think that was a good method going forward. We're all aggressive. We shoot. We like to hang out and socialize. But my method was to have a squad mom or squad dad that was local to my range. So they knew the range. They knew where the porta bodies were. They knew where the parking lots were. If you said bay this or pit that, they knew how to point you in that direction. So I think that was a really good method on match flow. Quite frankly, just the dynamics and geography of my own range, I learned some things. We had some backups, and we'll improve those in the future. But I think those are the highlights of the things that worked well for us, and I really spent time on trying to plan for.
Good deal. All right, Brad, you've been working as an SO for years. This is going to be your first major match? Is it?
Be my first major as an MD, but I've been a local MD for about 8 years.
Okay.
Running our local match. So I'm really, I'm not nervous or worried about it or anything. It's just going to be what I normally do on a bigger scale. So not to mention I've got great help, and we all know how important that is. And there are certain aspects of the match that I don't want to deal with. One thing is registration and payment, which is real important, but I don't want to do it. So I have recruited my good friend Kevin Farrar, that I think we all know, to handle some of those things that I don't want to deal with. But yeah, we're putting together a good match. The stages are pretty much already done, and we had a transition on the AC, so I'm kind of giving him some time to get settled before I drop all the stages on him and let him approve. And I think you're going to find that this match is going to be something you just flat out enjoy shooting. There won't be any hardcover. People may have figured out I am anti-hardcover.
Amen.
So there won't be any hardcover, but I think you're going to find some stages that you will just absolutely enjoy. You may run into something where you're going into a simulated house and shooting through a bunch of drywall. So hopefully I'm concocting an idea there that's going to work out. Okay.
All right.
But I think it's going to be great. And of course, Nighthawk has come on to sponsor it, and they're helping me out, as are most of my other sponsors, Master Tack and Voodoo and Otis and Underwood Technology. I mean, these guys, Whitaker Guns, these guys are coming on board to help us out and help us have a good match.
Good deal. All right. Now, Seth, you were the assistant MD at Worlds in 2019. Is that right? Or were you just wandering around pretending to be important? Well,
I was wandering around pretending to be important.
You did
okay,
it well. You did it well.
I did it well.
He did it too well.
Now, Nationals canceled this year, so no pressure. You're the MD for next season. Give us a preview. What are you looking forward to? What are you expecting for Nationals next year?
Well, the good thing is they said they could roll the budget over to next year, which is of course $0. So that helps out a lot.
So double last year's budget. Awesome.
Yep, exactly.
Right, perfect.
Now we had already had all the stages done. For the most part, we just went through and retweaked them. And, since we had extra time, went through and moved more favorites into it or incorporated new ideas into the stages that we had already designed. We had already picked out the staff. So if time willing that the staff is there for us next year, they're already pre-whitelisted, so to speak. All they have to do is reapply. So I'm sure we will drop some for our SOs and have to select new ones, but for the most part, we're done. We got everything lined up. We, of course, decided to do the postal match in its place to try to give everybody a chance to shoot something. I think that was a huge success, at least from my perspective. We had almost 700 shooters participate in it, which was nice. Gave I think a large sampling of how you perform against other shooters in other areas, because you don't, especially this year, get to shoot with anybody. Ironically, Aaron and I'll say, well, I shot more matches than I ever have. But for a lot of people, they were obviously restricted that. Like Brad, I've got an idea. It's not sheetrock, but I've got something to obscure the shooter's vision of a target. It's not hardcover. I've tried 3 different brands of ammo, Brad, and I can't find a lead out there that's not magnetic to black paint.
Okay.
Therein lies my problem. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what the deal is. I can see my sights are lined up. They're on the tan part, and then somehow, and it's not me pulling left. Yeah, but sometimes the black paint, like I had a target, they just had a strip of black down the dead center. I shot dead center both rounds. So
right?
Yeah. So
did you shoot Walking in Memphis 2 years ago?
I can't remember if I did or not. Yeah.
Yes,
so,
I did.
so the good news for everybody, the match director doesn't get to shoot for score. So everything I hate, we've incorporated into the match. So
wonderful. That's exactly what I would have done.
Perfect.
As
awesome.
If I'm going to give away a secret for those watching, that everybody hated the Sappy plates from last year. There is at least one target with leftover Sappy plates from last year's from Worlds. So they will be making a comeback on at least one stage.
Awesome.
Yeah. It turns out Rick made a ton of them thinking they would get shot up, and turns out, it's hardcover. Everybody shoots it, but, you just put a black paster on it and move on. So
at least that's an accurate representation, Seth. Of
Yeah.
Hardcover you.
Yeah, exactly.
That. How's that?
Yeah. So, yeah, at least they're accurate. I didn't do well on that stage. It won't be an all left-hand stage. I'm not going to be that mean. So at least you'll be shooting at them freestyle or.
So no S&M stages like at Worlds?
No. Hopefully,
Sorry, what?
it was kind of funny. For those that y'all shot the rifle one, that was the first stage that we actually had, world-class shooters that go, you know what? I'm going to take an FTDR and be ahead of the game. I've never seen a stage where that was the case, where people go, you know what, I'm going to take this penalty. Usually it's,
Right.
yeah. Usually it's a 3-second penalty. You go, oh man, was that 12 rounds in my gun? Someone must have loaded the bag for me. I don't know.
Right.
9, 10? Oh wait, did I? Oh man, I didn't reload from the last stage. Give me the 3-second penalty. I'll live with it. But to look at the stage and go, an FTDR, that's an advantage. So hopefully, they're just designed on paper at this point. Hopefully we don't have one of those stages, but who knows? Someone will game it and figure it out a way. But
back to Aaron, the Kentucky Classic. Why the name change, and what else is going to be different this year?
So classic stages, classic guns. So it is a Revolver 1911, specifically Revolver CDP only match.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your last guest would have loved that.
Yes.
yeah. And Aaron told me I can shoot my 9mm for no score. So it's a win-win.
No, I didn't. It's all in Seth's head as always.
As usual.
So much for me joining Seth then.
Yeah, honestly, Lloyd, those are two guns that I really have enjoyed shooting. I shot one match Revolver this year, and I've always enjoyed shooting CDP, specifically 1911. And it's just very difficult for guys to get bumps in those divisions. And I mean, I just spoke with a very good friend of mine, Sean Upchurch, about Revolver, and he said, I think it was last year's Nationals, he didn't even get a bump at Nationals because there still wasn't even enough people in Revolver at Nationals. So here's an opportunity for a lot of folks to dust off those revolvers and come on out. And so far, I've gotten some responses all the way to California, across the country, of folks that are really interested in coming to this match. So I'm pretty excited about it, being two classic formats. And I know there's at least one other CDP only match later in the year next year,
Right.
the Memorial Andy Newton match by Larry Wheeler down in Florida. So I think it'll be a great setup. And honestly, the other thing a lot of folks have said, they can get large pistol primers. So there's going to be a lot of folks shooting CDP this year. So I mean, it's serious. I mean, so that's interesting as well. Some of the things that I've heard.
Yep.
Aaron, I heard a rumor you're going to stick around for the second day and have all the other divisions come in. Is that right? I'm pretty sure I heard that. Right? Well, I guess I heard that. I'm just wondering.
Yeah,
It's just a
an email
rumor.
from me.
Yeah. Seth probably told you that.
I didn't spread it or anything yet, but just an idea.
ESP shoots on Monday.
Right. Okay. So we're up against it a little bit on time. I just want to thank you guys for everything you guys are doing for the sport, and thank you so much for taking the time to come out here and be on the show and cut up live on YouTube and on Facebook. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, guys. Looking forward to seeing you. I hate I didn't get out to see you this year, and hopefully 2021 will be better, and I get to see you guys face to face next year.
Thanks a lot, Lloyd.
Yep. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. All right. So this is the moment you guys have been waiting for. When the guests get a lot better looking, and let's see here, and we get to talk about. There we go. And we are joined by Memarie Lawrence, who you were a guest all the way back in episode 32. You are going to be the match director of the 2021 Texas Femme Fatale Championship. I can't wait. I love the name.
I can't wait.
And Chris Schmied from Hernando, Mississippi. No, there's not a good way to say that. I started to say the oldest guest. That doesn't sound right.
Thank you.
The guest from way back, episode 12, and one of the match directors from the Southern Belle Championship in 2020. Thank you, guys. Thank you, ladies, for being here.
Thank you.
All right, and we were supposed to be joined by Mandy Bachman, and I don't think she has joined us. She has not. So when she gets here, we will put her into the show as well. All right. So first, the fun part of 2020. Chris, you came up with this idea for this ladies only IDPA match, the Southern Belle IDPA Championship. Let's go back. Despite COVID and all that craziness this year, you pulled it off. Where did you get the idea for the Southern Belle?
Actually, I can't take much of the credit. Chris Wally called, and he was this kind of wanted to put on a match. He wanted a subcategory match. He was leaning toward a seniors only match, which I thought was super cool. But of course, I said, if you're going to pick a subcategory, why not ladies? And
Nope.
and he said, no, well, that's great. Do you think there'd be enough interest? Because percentage of the membership wise, we just don't make up a huge chunk of the membership. And but I would love to see that grow, of course. So I said, well, let me go online and see if we can drum up some interest, see what the ladies think. And it was great. We got a lot of really positive feedback from women. Women are like, you put that on, I don't care where it is, I'm coming. And then we also got some negative feedback from some gentlemen. And of course, that was practically just dared us to do it. So we had to put it on after that. So we did, and we were very nervous the entire time with all the COVID stuff. Thankfully, we are in the deep, deep South where we did not have much in the way of restrictions. Right. So we actually got really lucky with our venue, with the way things just worked out. It worked out in our favor. So we were able to pull it off, and we were tickled pink day of. It worked out beautifully.
Awesome. And Memarie, you will be the MD for the new ladies only match in Texas next year called the Femme Fatale. Tell us about that.
Oh gosh, I am partnering with Collin County IDPA, and so if you've ever shot any of their matches, you know it's going to be fantastic. So I am very blessed. Yeah, very blessed that they were willing to partner with me to help me with the match. They have wonderful SOs and lots of creativity and a wonderful range at Mission 160. So I am very excited to be the MD for that match.
Awesome. What I saw you guys sitting down playing Legos the other night, planning out some stages. What have you got in mind for the match?
I don't want to let out too much, but and I think John just wanted to play a little bit, so that's why I got the Legos. But
early Christmas present.
Yes, it ended up being a neat little tool to use. But we have, let's just say, maybe a catwalk.
Ooh.
You're not bringing back that teeter-totter thing, are you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, I don't have to shoot it, so I don't care. So
no. So we are working on some really fun stages.
Okay, awesome. Enough said. We'll leave the mystery right there. Okay.
Yes.
You participated in the Southern Belle last year. What did you think of the format? What did you think of the whole idea? Start with from the time you first heard about this idea of a ladies only match, all the way through to actually getting there and participating in this match that Chris put on. What was your impression of this whole idea? Hey, wait a second. Our third lady has joined us. Here she is. Mandy.
There she
is. Mandy Bachman has joined us. How are you?
Hey, good. How are y'all?
We are great. We are great. We were just talking about the Southern Belle, the 2020 Southern Belle IDPA Championship, and looking forward to the 2021 Femme Fatale. And I just asked what when you first heard it. So Mandy, since you just got here, I'm going to throw this to you first, and then back to Memarie. When you ladies first heard about this idea of a ladies only match, what was your first impression? What was your first thought about this idea? And then when you got there and you got to shoot it, what did you think about it then? What was your impression of the match, having first heard about it and then seeing it firsthand?
Yeah, I just thought it was a really awesome idea, because I know when I first started shooting, the biggest thing for me was going to a match and knowing that there weren't going to be many ladies there probably. And so to give the opportunity, because I mean, like when Chris and them first put that on, there were so many ladies that it was their first match. You know, they had never even shot a match before. And so it gives them a way to get started and get those first match jitters out and be around ladies who are very welcoming and helpful. And the stages that they put together were great. They had stages that, you know, if you were a seasoned shooter, there were things that you could do to, you know, cut some time off of your stage. But then there were also, if you were a first time shooter, there were safe ways to shoot the stage. It was awesome. They did an amazing job.
All right, Memarie. What were your initial thoughts when you first heard about it, and what did you think of the match itself, and how much of what you saw there did you steal?
My first thoughts were that it was a fantastic idea. We've done small local matches, you know, with lady only squads and things like that. So to have something of this magnitude where it was a ladies only sanctioned match, I just thought it was awesome. The match was fantastic. Like Mandy said, you know, the stages were built so that if you were more experienced, you could shoot it one way, or if you were a beginner, you could shoot it another way, and no one felt like it was too difficult. You know, there was ways you could do it either way. So I really, really enjoyed it, and it was beautiful there. The weather was a little cool, but the rain held out for the most part, so we had a fantastic time. I don't think I've stolen anything so far, except for Chris's ideas that she's been helping me with.
Chris, this idea of making the match in a way that no matter your skill level, you can enjoy it and you can come through it and feel like you've accomplished something without really dumbing it down. Talk about that challenge, because it seems to me that you could either make it so easy that the shooters like Mandy and Memarie, who have more experience, get there and they're like, oh, it's fun, but yeah, it's not really challenging. Or you make it so hard that the new people who come out get really frustrated, and you, like Memarie and Mandy said, that you found a way that it accomplished both things, that it made it fun for all skill levels. How did you do that?
I think that's probably really the trick of stage design. It really, and this match was unique. Very early on in the process, Jackie Russo, who was one of the people who chimed in and said, yes, do this, you have to do this. She said, I'd love to help build stages. So it was Chris and I, and then Jackie as well. The three of us were designing stages, and we kind of just divvied it up. But I know the range best, so I knew what equipment we had to work with. And if you've never shot at the Carter's Range in North Mississippi, they have some very unique movers. And we wanted to take advantage. Yes, there's some nods. We wanted to take advantage of those. So I was hoping to trip some people up with those. But we also did things like, for example, this is just the best example I can think of. We try to do it with every stage where, you know, if I'm a Mandy, I can burn it down this way, but a novice is still going to be safe because we're going to put a stack of barrels here to, you know, encourage them to stay within, you know, the muzzle safe points. We're going to encourage safety at every opportunity. But we also did a thing where, so best example, there was an out and back. It was a single look. We had a quad stack in front of it, so it fell back behind the quad stack and you never saw it again. We decided to remove one half of that quad stack. As they run to the next shooting position, let's give them an opportunity to just see the head. Well, guess what? If you're an expert or master, you're going to never look back at that, right? You're going to have taken your 2 on it and move on. Every marksman, and I think most of the novices I saw shoot it, they all went back for that head. So, but it was also, depending on your angle on it, there was a friendly behind it. It may have made it harder. It may have made it worse. So this was one of those matches where you really wanted to pay attention in the walkthrough and make sure you got to see every angle. So I think it worked out beautifully. I think the 3 of us did an okay job on stage design, and I hope everybody had fun. That was my big thing. Just be safe and have fun.
Awesome. Do you think, each of you think this is going to be, I know you hope it will, do you think it's going to be a trend where clubs start to put on sanctioned matches, for female only sanctioned matches going forward? I was excited to see that we're coming back with another Southern Belle in 2021, and especially excited to see that we have another female only match in the Femme Fatale. Do you think this is going to be something that keeps growing as we go forward?
I do. I mean, I think it's a smart way, and it's a really good and efficient way to get more ladies interested in the shooting sanction matches. You know, I know several ladies that have shot club matches only and have never actually ventured out into shooting sanction matches and bigger matches. So I think it's a great way for ladies to first step into that and get a taste of what, you know, a tier 2 and up match feels like, and the types of stages that you'll see at those matches. And, you know, and that there's plenty of people out there that are ready and able to help you and guide you through it too.
You're not just going and watching your husband or your boyfriend shoot. They're now cheering for you.
Exactly.
Why do you think this, and Chris, you alluded to a little of, and I addressed it in a little bit of a rant on one of my shows. Why do you think there was a little bit of pushback on this? And why do you think this is so important, this idea of ladies only matches? Why is it important that we have these sort of specialty matches, do you think? I'll let each of you take turns and address that question. Chris, you want to go first? You're laughing.
Sure. I'll go first. We got some pushback, and I'm okay with it. I try to be open-minded and listen to everybody's opinion about it. Is it sexist? Okay, sure. I'll own that. I'm fine. I look at it as an underserved population in not just IDPA, but in the firearms industry. I personally, I'm not a fan of going into a gun store and seeing pink and blue guns on the lower caliber items there. So I'm a big fan of growing women in the sport correctly. You know, I run a Girl and a Gun for good reason. I'm an NRA instructor. So, of course, I want to see women get more into firearms safely and responsibly. All that being said, there is an intimidation factor sometimes when it comes to some women, not all of us. Some of us, clearly, those of us here have shot plenty of matches where we're one of the few, if not only, women around, and we're okay with that. But a lot of women, for their first venture out, prefer a female-friendlier environment, or at least like to see a few more friendly faces or similar faces. And I think we should cater that as often as we can. So I would love to see this become a huge trend. It won't be easy. Even pre-COVID, I think there might have been some obstacles in some locations. But I think, for the 3 of us here, we really want to see this grow. And I think we're willing to put in the work to make that happen. So I think if there are enough of us out there, who, and as we get more experienced women on board, hopefully they'll turn around and do the exact same thing and help grow the sport.
Memarie?
I don't remember the original question, but I'm not sure that I wanted to go back to that anyway. I'm not sure why there was pushback. And
well, why do you think? Why do you think this is? Why do you think this idea is so important?
Well, that's what I was going to speak to, because, as Chris said, I was a facilitator for a Girl and a Gun, and then I became an LTC instructor here in Texas. And so often women would come to an LTC class, they would get their license, and I would never, ever see them again. Mm-hmm. And I would just push. You have to practice, And it would worry me that they would often get their license and go home, put their gun away, and then that they wouldn't shoot it again. I think this is a great way for women to practice the skills that they need if they're going to be carrying. So that was why I started shooting IDPA to begin with. And then, I just fell in love with it. And as Chris said, some people are a little more intimidated than others. All three of us have often shot matches where we're the only female there, but not everyone is comfortable with that. So I think it's a great opportunity to bring more women shooters, that whether they want to compete or whether they just want to be able to be comfortable carrying, it's a great way for them to do that.
Yeah. Mandy?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, I think that a lot of women want to get involved. They just either don't know how to get involved, or they're not comfortable yet to get involved. I've said before, when I first started shooting, I learned really quick that maybe me and Cody practicing together wasn't necessarily the best thing. And so, it's Cody, sorry, but it's great for the females to go out and make other female shooter friends and to create those connections. And I've got quite a few ladies that I talk to through Facebook Messenger, because they just want to get another female's take on what kind of gear they need, or what kind of drills they need to be practicing, or all of that. And so doing these female only matches is a great way to make those connections, get comfortable shooting, and just get more females involved.
You mean having a guy tell you, "Oh, honey, here's how you need to do it," is not a good thing?
Yeah.
I mean, I hear that all the time at gun shows. It's gotta be good advice, right?
There's certain guys that I don't mind at all doing it, but unfortunately, Cody's not one of them. So.
Okay. Duly noted.
Yeah, because then it goes from the range to the house, the car ride home.
Right, you can't get in the car and get away from it. A couple of comments I wanted to share with you guys, and I don't know who these people are, so I apologize for that. But for those of you who posted these comments, thank you, and you know who you are. Merry Christmas, ladies.
Merry
I do have
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas from Florida, and one of our favorite people.
Oh, Debbie.
Merry Christmas, Debbie. All right. What are you ladies looking forward to in 2021, other than these awesome matches? Hopefully things get better in 2021, and we're not putting up with all this awfulness that we went through in 2020. What are you looking forward to, let's just hope that everything is sort of back to normal in 2021? What would you like to do in 2021? What are you looking forward to? Memarie, let's start with you.
Assuming all things are back to normal.
Let's play make believe.
I am so excited to go shoot at Cameo for Nationals. I've not gone there. Ashton has gone to 2 or 3 matches there, and he loves it. And of course, we talked to Walt, and just get to hear all about it. But John and I have never gone. So that's what we are looking forward to, and traveling. I mean, we usually shoot 10, 11 sanctioned matches a year, and this last year we shot 4. So, and they were all, well, except Mississippi, they were all, within a 3 or 4 hour drive. So we would like to be able to travel and go to some other matches. We had planned on going to Illinois, and we've never been there, and that one was canceled. So we were really bummed every time every match was canceled. So looking forward to nationals.
Yes. Yeah. And if you get to Illinois, you will love it. Aaron Ragusa puts on a great match. Chris, how about you?
A lot like Memarie said. I mean, I think we had 10 slotted for this year and did 5. And I mean, that's just sad. But I think next year, my 2 biggest places I'm looking forward to going to are the Femme Fatale. I have never shot in McKinney. And I may live in Mississippi now, but I was born in McKinney. So I am looking forward to seeing some family while I'm there. I haven't been able to do that in a while, thanks to COVID. So I'm really excited about that one. And I hear the range is amazing, and I can't wait. So, and nationals. I've never been to Cameo either. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that range. I see all these beautiful pictures of it, and I can't wait to go.
And Mandy, you of the 4 of us have the most extensive with travel schedule with IDPA and Wilson Combat every year. What was 2020 like for you because of COVID, and what are you looking forward to in 2021? Again, let's play make believe and say that everything's great next year.
Yeah, so this year was a lot slower. I mean, I still managed to go to a lot of the matches that I had planned to go to. Most of them got moved to the fall, so like a lot of people, it was a pretty busy fall there for a little bit. Yeah. My suitcase just like stayed, packed basically. And but next year I'm just really hoping. There's a lot of people that I see, that I've seen every year since I started shooting, and I didn't see a lot of them this year. So for me, a lot of it's I hope to see some of those people, because I started doing this in 2015, and some of those people I saw every other month. So, I'm looking forward to traveling some more. I think I shoot a match in Florida in February. I'm going to shoot the Western. I'm excited to go out there again and shoot the Rocky Mountain match, and hopefully see all those people that I didn't get to see this year.
Good deal. Well, ladies, thank you so much for everything you're doing. I'm really looking forward to playing make believe next year and actually getting to see the Femme Fatale. And I didn't even get to my 2020 was so horrible. I didn't even get to the matches that are here at my home range. So I'm hoping 2021 is better, and looking forward to seeing you guys and actually shooting some matches. That would be nice. So thank you so much for everything that you ladies are doing for the sport, and thank you for coming on. And Chris, thank you for doing this on short notice. I really do appreciate it. And Merry Christmas to all of you, and happy 2021.
Thank you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And one last comment from Frank Scalise from Belton Gun Club over in South Carolina. Frank, thank you so much. All right. And we're going to wrap up here. Let's see. Hey, Mandy. All right. So thank you all for taking the time to spend with us, and thank you for sharing an hour of your life with us, and for supporting the show this year. Thank you to our patrons, Jung Cho and Frank Scalise, who I just mentioned, and Chris Irvin, Bob Slaybaugh, and Doug Collins, and Jay Heil, Joe Bowden, and Mike Zukowski, Frank DeCastro, Scott Martin, and Jesse Walker. Thank you all so much for your support. If you would like to support the show in 2021, if you would like to help us keep doing what we do, and hopefully see me shoving a camera in somebody's face at a match next year somewhere, that would be awesome. Visit unloadpodcast.com/patron and sign up today. I would really appreciate the support. That's going to do it for 2020 for Unload and Show Clear. This year has it sucked eggs, to be honest, but the bright spot has been spending time with you guys and visiting with the awesome people of IDPA. And that really has been a bright spot. And I thank you all for your support and for even through the hiatus this summer and all the craziness. I hope you'll check out the show again in 2021. Got a couple of great guests lined up for our first 2 episodes in 2021. Merry Christmas to all of you. I hope whatever you were hoping to find under the Christmas tree, I hope you find it. And I hope 2021 is a wonderful new year for all of you. So thank you again for your support. Thank you for watching, and have a great night. I'll see you next time.